Council meeting of December 12th, 2024. With us this evening for our invocation is Pastor Vinny Azzolini from Greater Faith Apostolic Church. If you don't mind coming forward, if everyone would please stand for our invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to Father. Pastor.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to be here and pray. Give honor to this council for your excellent service. Lord, we thank you, God, for this opportunity to be here together, Lord, and to make decisions for this city. I pray that you would give this council wisdom tonight, Lord, that you would just lead us and guide us in all the decisions that we make. You know what's best for Ironton. You know what's best for the citizens of this city. And I pray that you would lead us and guide us in all of these decisions to do what's best for this city and for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Leary.
Here.
Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
Harry.
Here. Next is the approval of our regular council meeting minutes of November 25th, 2024, and the Finance Committee meeting minutes of November 25th, 2024. Are there any errors, omissions, addition to those meeting minutes? Hearing none, those meeting minutes will stand as approved. Next is audience participation. If you'd like to address the Ironton City Council, please step forward, state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes to address council.
Good evening. Elizabeth Crawford, 2614 South 5th Street. I am the 8th grade social studies teacher at Ironton Middle School, and I received an email about applying for a grant for the America 250 project. And so I'm just coming to City Council. We have to apply with a government entity, and so I'm just hoping that that's something you all would help us with. We'd like to put a project together with our students at the middle school and potentially the 2 other schools as well. I know Lawrence County has already established itself as America 250 community, but they've already received a grant. So in order for us to receive this grant, Ironton would have to designate itself as an American 250 community as well. So I'm just hoping that you all would help our students and participate in the project.
Ms. Crawford, I think, first of all, we'd be happy to do that, but I don't want to speak out turn as to what we're on the hook for. But ironically, and I don't know if it's ironic, but Mr. Donahue is back there who's spearheading that effort for our county.
Yes.
Rich, are we on the hook for anything so far, and are we able to do that for her?
No, you haven't committed anything to the American 250 for Lawrence County. There's no limitations of how many you have to be organized with the American 250, and there's no limit to how many different organizations within a county or a city or anything else. But, I think what she's asking for is the city to say it's okay, the schools, if she files for a grant with America 250. Now, America 250, Lawrence County has applied and is applying for a grant that deals with all the schools in the city schools and the county schools with a program. We're not guaranteed anything, just like you apply and they make the decision.
Okay.
But it's nowhere do they say in the state of Ohio that only one entity can ask for a grant.
Okay. All right. I saw Nate. Yeah.
That's it. Me and some of the other teachers have discussed that we would like to put together just a documentary about the city of Ironton. But then after doing the research, because Lawrence County has already been designated and applied, we would have to designate the city itself. So then we could also apply for the same grant.
I'd be happy to sponsor that. I think it'll be in resolution form, but I'll consult with our solicitors and we'll get you the legislation that you need to show for our support.
Okay.
In addition, the city also employs the services of the CAO for grant writing. Mm-hmm. So if you need help with the grant writing for that, let us know and we'll get you in contact with that person.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Marion Tussey, 1507 Karen Street. I got notification of the aggregation for the electric company that the city's doing this morning. And my question is, does the city want to pay the same that the citizens are going to pay AEP for the supply of electric? Because mine actually is cheaper than what the city is going to be charging me through this aggregation.
Marianne, I ask lots of questions when the vendors have come for aggregation, both gas and electric, and they locked us in. They locked us in at the lowest rate possible during a 30-day window, because the price, the CCF of gas and the kilowatt hours or whatever for electric, it fluctuates daily on the market. And so when we entered into that aggregation, we asked that they pull the trigger on the lowest one they could. So the city is locked in for a year-to-year basis on the lowest one during a 30-day window.
And the city pays exactly what we would have to pay?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was going to say it is higher than what I actually get now, and I understand that I can opt out.
You can.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to shop individually. Yeah. It's just anyone that ironically, I had someone from Dynegy, I think, come to my house before we did the community aggregation, and they said, we can lock you in for whatever. But I was stuck for 3 years and couldn't opt out. And so mine stayed higher. And then as soon as that expired, the aggregation rate was lower. So I went with that. But we just blanket everyone that isn't obligated.
Okay. And then I wanted to mention that I own the house at 1606 Karen Street. And there again, my concern is you all have moved the end of the yard upwards and my driveway upwards to where the water, and I am keeping track of it. I'm taking video and everything, tracking it, because that water is going to end up on my sidewalk and in my yard. There's 20 feet of yard until you hit the front door. And that water lays right there on the sidewalk, and all my pipes go right there through the front yard. They did put those drains in. They're not usable because they haven't finished them. They didn't put any grass seed down on that half end of the Karen Street. They did nothing to the yards, grass seed, nothing. So I just wanted to have that on record that, I'm complaining about that again, that I'm not accepting what y'all have done to my yard, because you're putting that water back on 9 people that have those drains. Every one of them goes backwards. And you're just, all they've done is misplace the water on us. And I just want it noted that I don't agree with this. Thank you.
Hey.
Where's the water? Is it on the street or is it in what?
My driveway used to go like this and then down to the street. It goes like this and up now. So that water goes right down to the sidewalk, right, and then will go right into my yard. They put the drain on the other side of the driveway. There's no water going there. No water going there. Go down there sometime when it rains and you're going to see everybody the man next door to me has it worse because his is even farther over. There's another lady that her driveway is actually like this.
So the grade of your driveway is going towards your house?
Yes. For 9 people down there. Yes. Just drive down and you can see it. It's pitiful. It looks pitiful.
Have you told, have you said something to Allard or to our?
I don't talk to Allards anymore. I go straight to the EPA. I'm done with them.
How about the engineer?
Sometimes I'll sit. Kevin knows about it. I've contacted them all. They know. They know how I feel about it. I don't agree with it, and I'm not going to put up with it. They're going to have to fix it. So.
Thank you. Any others? Moving on to communications, we have none. Oh.
I wasn't expecting to talk. My name is Susan Heald, and I live at 509 South 5th Street. And our neighbors have just become aware that there is a recovery model of home called the Oxford House that has bought a house at 522 South 5th Street and are proceeding to move into it. And it's our understanding that this neighborhood, yes.
I was just waiting on you to speak. I was just holding my note for Craig. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought you wanted to ask me a question. And it's a 522 South 5th Street, so it's our understanding it's R1 zoning, which means up to maybe 3 individual families. So it's our understanding that the concept, the Oxford House, has a minimum of 6 people to move into this national. It's like kind of like a franchise. I was familiar with the name of it, but I've tried to do a little bit more reading. So there are several children all around. Anyway, I live across the street. The Collinses back here live right across Jefferson from it. So it's not a good fit for a historical residential neighborhood. So I'm here to say, what are you going to do about it?
Susan,
And you probably know about it.
Yes, we've all been contacted individually. The mayor's office has been contacted, and our city solicitors are working on advice to give. And that's
Advice to give to
us as a city and to the mayor for the day-to-day operation for code enforcement.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really plan to come and speak, but I thought somebody should say something. At least somebody was here, because we are very concerned about it.
We are all very well aware.
Thank you very much.
Chris, did you have anything else?
Mayor, have you checked the zoning on that project, on that building?
It's R1.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I was thinking back when we changed that, we went from, I don't remember what street, but we went down and stopped the R1, I think, at the library. And that street, the house we're talking about, sits on that street. And it's...
I think, yeah, but going the other direction, I think it does go to Quincy, R1.
I think that's where R1 stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, it stopped before in the middle of the street that we're talking about.
It's
R1.
It's zoned residential regard. I mean, it's residential area. R1, R2. It's I mean, he'll be able to find that out along with the solicitors, but it's a residential zone.
Well, I know it's residential, but if it's R1 or
I know.
which one?
Yep.
Because R1 is single family dwelling.
Yeah, that's what it falls under.
And we changed that. That whole way down through there used to be, I don't know, R2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But we voted it in here on council probably 30
I
years
think there's
ago.
only like one, and I think it's the apartments that the judge owns. It's probably the only one that's still there that's multi-family units still. That's other ones have ceased their non-conforming use in R1.
But when we were drawing the lines for the central business district,
Rich, you can go on that.
it butts right in with that R1 right there. So it is R1 right there. Because we wrote, when we remember the central business district last summer, it joins or butts up to that, it butts to that district and that R1 zone.
I thought R1 ended in the middle of the street in front of, because, you know, we went from on 4th the sixth. Sixth was the Riverside.
Yeah, half of 4th Street is
Yeah.
divided like that.
Yeah. The cross streets, they've done the same thing there, that they split it in the middle.
And I think it's Quincy though, where the church is, that's like R2, like St. Joe.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, R1.
So R1 was what considered what? We can't hear back here.
Single family dwelling?
So we consider R1 where we're at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whose name is?
Well, if you're gonna talk, you're gonna have to come up here. So Rich is up here at the podium, so hang on just a second. He's telling you, come on.
We live right across the street from it. And
Just
we
for
see.
Marty, make sure you say your name and address.
Now what?
Name and address.
Denise Collins, 602 South 5th Street, Ironton, Ohio.
Go ahead, Denise.
And we always understood that it had to be a single residence, that it was the R1. And then the gentleman that was out there one day, he said that they came from down in Portsmouth, and they were coming up there to rent. Eight different people supposed to be there. That's what was said. And we found out that it was R1 from Washington to Quincy. And then but we wondered who owned it. Does Compton still own the house, or was it sold to?
We don't have that information, but the mayor's office is aware of that, Denise, and has been consulting our city solicitor.
So there's nothing we can do. It's already cut and dry, or
As far as purchase, it's been purchased.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to stop the purchase, but there are things that we can do. That's why it's in the hands of our city solicitor. And furthermore, if it's something that is in the hands of our city solicitor, we can't comment on it. If you understand what I'm saying.
so it's okay that they get a move in.
No, I didn't say that.
They're over there. Someone's over there, but we're not sure.
Yeah. And they can move furniture in, and they can, if they've purchased the house, they're allowed to move in, but they also have to comply with our zoning.
But the ones that purchased the house was that Oak. So these people are currently just renting off of them, right? Or at least,
We don't know yet.
yeah.
Right now, to my understanding, there's no one there except movers.
Except who?
Movers.
Well, someone was in there last night, but I don't think they'd be moved in the middle of the night. But they did bring appliances and all that. But like I said, it's just sad that it's going on, and I'm not saying them people don't need to go somewhere and get help. They don't need to be in the neighborhood. And then, like I said, the gentleman that was over there moving one day, he said that there was supposed to be 8 people come up from Portsmouth. I was trying to find the name of the place that he told us.
Nate.
Denise, I want to reaffirm, we're not ignoring you. We're listening. We hear it. We understand it.
Yeah,
But there's some legality involved with it, and at the advice of our solicitor, we're not able to comment on it right now.
okay, yeah,
But I want you to understand that we hear you,
yeah,
and we understand.
yeah.
And
And
it's not being ignored.
Yeah, and I'm not, saying them people don't need help, but won't they say, how are they coming up with that much money? I mean, like I said, I know, but I think it was done dirty-handed, That's how I feel. And when the Comptons told us that they sold it to somebody in Arizona, where it was, I asked Casey out there, I said, it'll be a drug place, and he did not answer me. So, Okay,
But I do want to thank you for coming and expressing
Okay.
your concern.
thank you.
Thank you.
Nate may have said it more eloquently than I did. Rich.
Rich Donahue, 2358 County Road 103, Ironton. I just want to bring something to, the mayor had worked on a project a couple of years ago about downtown parking and meters. Mr. Haney mentioned just a moment ago about the city of Ironton and the downtown business district. And, you know, as every day passes, the business side of that district gets smaller, and it's not so much retail but service oriented. And with that happening, or residential, with that happening, you're getting some of the upstairs apartments being rented out to people, and they're parking on the streets substantially, all day long, and there's no repercussion. You have, with the service industry, you have more of individuals not thinking of their neighbor, and that they rely on foot traffic, and even those entities that are in the downtown that are providing service rather than retail, they're not thinking about their customer that they have to park, a block away or half a block away because, the 6 parking spots out in front of their door is taken up by their own employees. So, I'm here to just say, just think about it, because if you want the business side of the downtown to improve, business and service can work together, but the service side of it is eating up and residential is eating up all the parking, and soon your businesses will decide that, their worst competitor is not somebody in Huntington, but that person that they're competing with on that parking spot. So that's what I'm here to say. Think about it, but it's a struggle when somebody parks in its parking lot, same parking lot spot all day long, and I know somebody else. I see a shaking of a head over here. There's you go around the courthouse. I mean, nobody can be serviced there. You come into this building at times, and there's nothing wrong with people to walk that come into your establishment. But when the employer's parked out in front, that's 50 years ago when Kresge was around, or J.C. Penney's, those strong managers in those places told their employees that they had to park quite a ways because those parking spots out front are for their customers. So that's what I had to say. Just think about it. Go ahead.
Nate.
Is there any way with through Ironton Alive or a business organization that we can get together and talk to those business owners and managers and ask them if we can come together with some conclusion on that, as far as being able to ask them to their employees to park? Because I think there's some areas that I think we might be able to open up for that. One of the things on Bobby Bear by the depot, I would personally like to see some lined parking spots there, and maybe we could have some communications in Ironton Alive and business owners to get their employees to park in that spot. I think that would free up a lot of space there, and that's a block.
Yeah. I mean, there is, and I'll just, it's just like railroad. Railroad's not lined. And that's one of your widest streets in the downtown area. There's a lot of employee parking that could be utilized in that area, but your issue is nobody wants to walk that far from the front door.
I know we talked about meters and the logistics of that, and there was cost involved with it, and the continual, and there's some just different things. And I think at the time, we really wanted to try to attack some of that low-hanging fruit as far as what we're talking about, some markings and some areas with some opportunity for parking, and to see where that might go.
Right.
I know that the parking deck is in conversation, but that's still a ways off. But I just feel like, and maybe we need to revisit that conversation as far as what is that low-hanging fruit and how can we attack that? What resources are needed to be able to do that, and then how do we communicate that to business owners?
But it's also landlords. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's landlords too. So,
Typically the business owners are, well, not always, but serve also as landlords.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's some dual.
correct.
When we were doing that,
Right.
I mean, we met with Iron. That's exactly what we did, and it worked for about a month or so.
Right.
And then it went right back to the using the parking spots. I think if we're not willing to do something like meters, which is very much controlled and effective, I think we should at least start trying maybe to explore like a 2-hour or 1-hour parking, because anything would help at this point. Right now, our current parking laws are still based off of meters, so there is no way for me to enforce any type of parking other than someone who takes up a spot for 5 days.
Mr. Perry. Rich, I thank you for coming. I think you're a great representative for downtown businesses, 2 or 3 just right downtown alone, not to mention the others. Is it still your opinion, if it was, I can't remember, we talked about this a few years ago, Rich, is it your opinion that you think angle-in parking could help to alleviate some of these things? I mean, I know we discussed it at one point when you were here, but then I think you and I spoke offsite as well. We've all seen now how effectively it's working in Ashland, even though some of those folks don't like the change, but it is an option. I know their street situation up there on Winchester is a little bit different than 3rd Street, but if we could get 2 or maybe not 3, but if we could get 2 parking spots per one horizontal or vertical.
This is just my opinion. If you tried to put angled parking in the downtown, you're going to have to, for it to work, you're going to have to go deep into the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work unless you.
We did a study once once we didn't decide on the meters, we had the IBI or CADIS do the study, and typically that is correct. You get 2 per parking spot. However, based on the Department of Transportation standards today, we have already over accommodated our city streets with too many spots than they were called for already. So we would lose spots actually by going on the new standard that's done the right way. I'm not going to say else about, but we have too many parking spots already per block based off of, like you see some that go all the way up to the curb in the intersection, and that shouldn't be the case.
I mean, I don't want to take too much. I know my time's over, but and I'll. There's a couple businesses, and they make their employees park at a distance, and they walk. But then there's others that their employees could park across the street where nobody's at, but they park in front of the front door. So those are just things.
Haney.
I agree. Parking is an issue, and it's when we went back to parking meters and everything. I would agree with Nate that I believe that we need form some Waterloo committee with whatever organizations, downtown organizations, city, Ironton Bloom, Ironton Life, whatever organizations they may be. But I also, and I'll stand by this till the end of time, I believe our situation would be a lot better if we were to go one way on some of these side streets. I think Vernon should be one way, and we should have angle parking going that way, and Washington should be one way, and angle parking, and then on top of that, dedicate the spaces and because Bobby Bear Boulevard is not it's not heavy traffic. It is mainly used to find a parking spot. So if we were to come up and create with the business owners and with downtown entities, whatever, create a common sense parking scheme there, and all along, you know, because once this riverfront project comes to finalization, there's going to be a bigger parking issue, you know. So I don't think the parking spots that we have available are a lot of them aren't even marked, and I don't think they're utilized correctly. So if we need legislation written to update our parking ordinances, I'll work on that. I'll take that on myself and create new. So I
think that, yeah, at least get rid of what's there because you can't do anything with it anyhow. I think enforcing like Monday through Friday or Saturday, some type of hourly, you know,
I'm fine.
That would be the start. We'll see how it goes and see if it helps. But we need something to move people along.
I'll take on the legislation for that, but I also would like to be involved in the planning of lining and getting the lines there, creating these parking spots with lines and not just that's a parking spot. Because you go down there and you go to the depot, a lot of people park in the bank, but you've got an entire, and that's over a football field from the splash park to the entrance to the, and there's cars just everywhere. And they're not taking up one spot. Some of them are taking up 3 possible spots. So instead of having, I think we need to do a better job and have, like I said, input from you guys, how we can be, whether it be angle parking, whether it be one way. I mean, I'm fine with one-way streets because the last thing I want is parking meters, and this is just a personal preference. If I have to pay to park in front of a business, more often than not, I'm gonna say I don't need it that bad. Yeah, and that's just me. I know a lot of people aren't that way, but I am. If I have to pay to park there, I'm not going to pay an extra fee to park somewhere when I'm going to purchase a good or a service. So at Huntington, like, you know, when I usually don't go to the whatever it's called because I'm not going to pay to park. You know, and that's, like I said, not everybody's like that, but I will work on whatever we have to do in order to not have parking meters, but make common sense parking available downtown. So if you need somebody from council, I'll be happy to work with you guys on that. If you need legislation written, I'd be happy to work with you on that. Like I said, with the mayor's request, I'll work on legislation for it. But we also need your input. You want, 30, some spots 30 minutes, some spots 2 hours, some spots, you know, I mean, there's a lot that's going to go into this for a holistic approach. I don't want to just bit and piece it and then have to rework everything. I'd like to come up with a holistic approach, get it nailed down, and implement it all at once. You know what I'm saying? That's like, here we go. You know, and along with the riverfront project, because that's going to be important to get.
Right.
There's going to be foot traffic down there. I mean, you're going to be right on top of it. So we want to make it. I want it to be as seamless as possible when we implement that riverfront for businesses, for parking, for pedestrians, for whatever. So I'd be more than happy to meet with you guys and get this together.
And going back to what you're talking about, the success of the river park is going to be whether or not how your parking is,
right.
You know, whether or not you have something within a couple blocks where people can park and find something easy, or it's not further. I've taken a lot of your time.
Thanks, Rick.
And I'm
You
sorry.
took a lot of your time.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Rich. Moving on to communications. There are none reports. There are none ordinances. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2455 first reading by title.
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Bob.
I'd like to let you know that we had a finance committee meeting and there was a favorable recommendation to carry this through. So I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and give a second, third reading and possible adoption.
Any
Second.
roll call, please?
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give ordinance 2455 second and third reading by title only. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2455 second and third reading by title only.
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency. Second reading. Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2455.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2455 is adopted. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2456 first reading by title only.
Authorizing the mayor to award contracts for the disposal of municipal solid waste and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Bob.
Yes, this was also discussed in our finance committee meeting, and we give it a favorable recommendation to adopt it. So I can make a motion, we suspend the rules and give it second and third reading.
Haney.
Discussion before a second. John did mention earlier in the finance meeting that this was the lowest bid that we received, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give ordinance 2456 second and third reading by title only. The clerk could please give ordinance 2456 second and third reading by title only.
Authorizing the mayor to award contracts for the disposal of municipal solid waste and declaring an emergency. Second reading. Authorizing the mayor to award contracts for the disposal of municipal solid waste and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2456.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2456 is adopted. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2457 first reading by title only.
Repealing City of Ironton Codified Ordinance 474.06 and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Nate, are we calling this the Joe Dressel law?
I knew somebody had, I was like, where did it?
I'd like to have some discussion on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had someone that was approached by the police about riding a bicycle in the street instead of on the sidewalk. So I asked the solicitor to look into that, and that is in fact in there. However, there's some redundancy in that. So I actually forgot to act that actual codified ordinance with that, but also wanted to see. I want to get this out here for a kind of discussion. If that's something that's going to be, if that's right or not, and I wanted to invite at some point. I'd like to have 3 separate readings and possibly invite the chief and see if he might be able to give his input on that. And I'll bring that entire codified ordinance for you guys to read and kind of see what your opinion is on that. I'll bring it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Is that reasonable?
I discussed some, I discussed that with the chief, and his understanding were there were a few things that precipitated that, and one of which was safety for kids. But then there were some other issues along the way, and also noted in our discussion was that there are some places that don't have sidewalks, so they would have to be in the streets. So,
It's honest, I mean, I don't know if it's state or federal, but it's like standard that it is the street that you have to operate in. So I think.
And the third thing, as Sam alluded to, was that it was against ORC. So I think that whether we repeal it or not, it wouldn't hold up because it would be redundant.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but I think it's okay to
knowing that, then I'm okay with that. I
I couldn't believe that was the law.
So I
It's
just
totally opposite. Like,
I think its
you got a
intention.
pro amateur bike rider, right?
I think its intention was for safety, especially for kids. I think that was the intention of it, but ORC overrides that. So, I mean, I don't think it's fine for us to get rid of the confusion by
It's actually
Okay.
typically illegal to ride on the sidewalk.
Okay, well, and again, it was first my knowledge till it was brought to my attention, and as you can see by this, I haven't really hit a bicycle. They said couldn't really give any advice when it was asked of me. So
Understood.
After I saw this on
The other avid cyclist.
hey, I do have my, it's got a flat tire, right? Okay, but my thing is, so I understand that, you know, in general, you ride on the street, but there's been times to where, you know, traffic's coming this way on a one-way street, and I don't look the other way. Now, is there a general, you know, nationwide law that says you have to follow the traffic laws down right way and wrong way and stop signs and this and that?
I
Because
believe on
I don't
city.
think the public knows.
I believe on municipal streets, it's actually that you ride opposite counterflow.
Oh, okay. So
I believe it is.
See, I've heard that, and I've heard that.
He was explaining it. Now that makes a little more sense. You want to explain that?
So when it comes to bicycles on the sidewalk, the ORC states that for like smaller municipalities like Ironton that don't have bicycle lanes, you have to be on the sidewalk. Now you can be on the roadway riding a bicycle if there is a bicycle lane, but we don't have any bicycle lanes, so you have to be on the sidewalk.
It's taking up my parking.
I think everyone should take it upon themselves to read the Ohio bicycle laws.
But that's what it's saying. If you don't,
Yeah, because I'm getting lots of conflicting information here, and I've read the laws multiple times, and you're basically the same as a motorized vehicle. And you have to follow the same rules, same as you can't drive your car down the sidewalk. You're not legally allowed to take your bicycle down the sidewalk either. In most
if it's a
areas.
small community where
Yeah. So just read up on it on your own.
Yeah.
See how you interpret
That is
it.
true. If there is not a sidewalk accessible, you can ride on the roadway, you have to use the riding interstate, you have to follow all traffic laws. You gotta use hand signals, stop at stop signs.
Yeah, and a lot of people follow the stop signs and what they see there.
So that's where I'm getting at, is it's been very like unsafe, and so they do have to follow the one-way street's going this way, the bicycle.
Oh, yeah, so if they're riding down the road the wrong way,
Okay,
stop and sign.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
A lot of them don't stop all the way either because you're clipped into your pedals, and so it's easier to keep moving and just be lazy and not stop. But then when you do that, you're liable.
Okay, that's good to know.
Nate asked for Joe's Law to get 3 separate readings, so we have time. We have time.
I was saying I can rescind that.
No, it's okay.
If you've already spoken to the chief.
No, it's okay. We'll have him do that. Can you ask if he can come to the next one, just so we can discuss? Yeah.
I ride in the street too. I didn't think it was legal on the other side.
Yes.
All right.
Like I just mentioned to Craig, there were no such thing as a bike lane in 1978.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that.
And that would help 2 things, because our next meeting is off campus. It's on Monday, the 23rd, and I was supposed to remind you to have Sergeant at Arms. So if Chief Johnson's here to talk about the bicycle, Joe's Law, then we can. We can already have him here as well. All right, thank you. Moving on to Nate.
I'd like to make a motion to deviate from our agenda and have ordinance 2458 read at the end of all ordinances and resolutions.
At the end, before adjournment?
Yes, before adjournment.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Hardy.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2458 will be read prior to adjournment. Yes. Next, we have ordinance 2453. If the clerk could please give that second reading by title only.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $1,050,000 of bonds by the city of Ironton, Ohio for acquisition of a fire truck bond and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Bob.
I'd like to make a motion, we suspend the rules and give ordinance 2453 third reading by title only.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give ordinance 2453 third reading by title only. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2453 third reading by title.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $1,050,000 of bonds by the city of Ironton, Ohio for acquisition of a fire truck bond and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2453.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2453 is adopted. Next is ordinance 2454. If the clerk could please give that second reading by title.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $400,000 of bonds by the city of Ironton, Ohio for acquisition of a garbage truck bond and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Bob.
I'd like to make a motion, we suspend the rules on ordinance 2450 for give third reading by title only.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give ordinance 2454 third reading by title only. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2454 third reading by title.
An ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $400,000 of bonds by the city of Ironton, Ohio for acquisition of a garbage truck bond and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Bob.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2454.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Next is amended ordinance 2447. If the clerk could please give that third reading by title only.
Making group residential or independent living homes, facilities a business and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Haney.
Make a motion to adopt amended ordinance 2447.
Klein.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Amended ordinance 2447 is adopted. Next is resolutions. If the clerk could please give resolution 2459 first reading by title only.
2025 salary resolution establishing salaries for non-union employees and declaring an emergency.
Haney.
Discussion. Can we make note that this or do we?
It's listed in our packet.
Are we
as
good?
resolution.
We don't have to make any.
You can make a note of it. Sure.
Let's just make note that it's listed as an ordinance, but we're reading it as a resolution.
Which is listed as a resolution.
It is listed as a resolution.
Yeah. Yes.
Just make it right.
No. I agree. Better noted. Jacob.
I'd like to mention that this was given favorable recommendation by finance, and I'd like to make a motion that we adopt pass resolution 2459.
Haney. Sorry. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Resolution 2459 passes. Next is resolution 2460. If the clerk would please give that reading by title.
Authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, WPCLF, agreement on behalf of the city of Ironton, Ohio, for design and construction of North Fifth Street sanitary sewer extension and former Rice property and wastewater facilities, and is designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Bob.
I make a motion we pass resolution 2460.
Haney.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Resolution 2460 passes. Next is miscellaneous. Mr. Perry?
We're 2458.
All of it.
After miscellaneous.
Wanted to read a quick paragraph from a citizen newly to Ironton. That's the conversation you and I had, Mayor and I had. This gentleman's name is Ben Stillwell. Moved to Ironton about a year ago from Greater Cincinnati, works at Children's Hospital, but has clients here in Lawrence County. Was given the opportunity to move somewhere between Cincinnati and Lawrence County, fell in love with Ironton. The reason I wanted to mention it specifically is I believe he's the poster child for who it is that we're attempting to attract to Ironton. He's a young professional with a bachelor's degree, currently working 40 plus hours in his job and also obtaining his master's degree. So, I commend him for, and thank him, I guess maybe more importantly, for choosing Ironton. He could have chosen any place. The letter reads, last week on Thanksgiving Day, I ran into a plumbing issue that stopped the water in his house from draining properly. This impacted his ability to shower, clean dishes, run sink water, wash clothes, use toilet, etc. Fortunately, the issue has since been resolved. He wanted to give a great deal of thanks to his neighbor, Mary Ann Tussey, who actually reached out to me, and it's how I got involved with Mr. Stillwell. I immediately reached out to the mayor. Sam sent his team down to investigate to determine whether or not the issue was on the property or if it was on the city side of the tap. They were able to ascertain that it was not on the city side. It left him in a bit of a pickle. However, he just stroked a big fat check for his tuition, and so paying a couple $1,000 for a plumber put it in a bind. So I reached out to Kenny Dickus, and if I didn't have any luck with Mr. Dickus, Rich Donahue would have been my next call. Kenny told him the story, reached out to Mike Kelly. You don't know Mike Kelly. Mike showed up with all the proper equipment. This is after, I should mention, this gentleman paid a couple $100 to have a plumber come out. They couldn't ascertain what the situation was, but Mr. Kelly showed up with a camera, was able to finagle the camera down far enough that he was able to dislodge whatever the issue was, and he got it taken care of. So the letter picks up by saying, up until now, I've never lived in a community where such concern, support, guidance, and personal outreach is the norm. He lived in Greater Cincinnati. For Mary Ann coming over to offer guidance and checking in on him every day as he was blindly trying to dig into his lawn, getting proper response from elected officials, and staying in touch with him from that standpoint. Mike charitably fixed the issue at no charge, and to several others who helped to support him. He wanted to say thank you. He apologized that he wasn't here to actually express these sentiments on his own. He says it's great to be able to take a shower again, but it was even nicer knowing that he's truly welcomed to the city. So, I think we all are here because we care about and love our city, and so I just wanted to give kudos to private residents, Kenny Dickus for dropping what he was doing, reaching out to Mike Kelly, the mayor for sending the people down to help determine. So I just wanted to give Ironton a big attaboy for welcoming this guy that, like I said, I think we all kind of hope that that's the type of person that we are attracting. So, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Perry. Haney?
Just want to make an announcement. For one, Mark and Terry, thank you very much for what you do for the rec stuff. K2 basketball is tipping off Sunday. Kindergarten is 1 o'clock, and first and second grade will be at 2:15. I know I've been driving you nuts. I'm trying. Just trying to get it off. Hey, we're all doing it for the kids, right? So thank you guys for putting up with the chaos, and I appreciate what you guys do. K2 basketball starting tipping off this Sunday, 15th. Also, Christmas coming up. I always like to remind everybody of the recycling bins stationed around town, OU, back at OU parking lot, behind the ESC, in between the ESC and the PALS, down here on 2nd Street, and then back behind the police department. Is there any other ones that anybody knows about for recycling bins located around town? I know there's those three for sure. Okay, that's it.
Is there still down to middle school? There used to be.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I think there is actually.
There used to be.
There's one at the high school. There's a green go at the high school, and there's one at the middle school.
They're behind the gates, though?
Yeah, behind the gates.
Middle school, I don't think they didn't used to be.
I'm not sure.
They've moved some because of the illegal dumping and stuff that was taking place in it.
There is one at the high school, I know for sure. I don't know about the middle school. I was just down there, you know. But yeah, Santa has to somewhere to dump his box.
I want to make mention in miscellaneous, if you've been living under a rock, our Ironton Fighting Tigers football team won the state championship this year. As a proud former alum of Ironton High School, and player and coach and proud father of a cheerleader and player on the football team, I'm excited to announce on behalf of the mayor and the city that we're going to have a champions parade for our state champions on Monday at 7 o'clock. As you all know, usually I invite the coach and the seniors in here, but that's been for the runner-ups. So state champs get a whole parade. So parade Monday. Ironton's really good at those. Too bad Rich already left, or he'd help us organize the parade. But 2024 State Champs Parade Monday the 16th at 7 o'clock from 3rd and Washington to 3rd and Center. And there's a ceremony to follow at 3rd and Center right in front of our picturesque Christmas tree downtown. You have anything to add to that, Mayor?
No, you got it.
I actually coached the mayor. That's how we're going. I saw him in a picture. I was looking up for Trace Wilkes hurdling the guy when Coach Lutz got his 361st win. I saw our mayor in the pictures there. Made me feel old. So thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
Nate, you want to move on?
And Aaron too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Want to move on to?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2458 first reading by title.
Extending ordinance 2166, 2275, 2336, 2360, 2402, and 2417, imposing a moratorium upon new group residential homes or facilities and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Nate.
I'd like to request, if we take action on this, that we do that at our next meeting. And I'd like to request we go to executive session to discuss litigation with Mayor and Mark. And we'll go ahead and take John also with no action to follow.
Second.
Haney.
Not sure.
Sounds like a reluctant. Bob, you on the clock for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Cleary.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Thank you. We are adjourned.